देवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय।
जय।
So just going back a little, what was 2.47, 48? Quickly, we will not discuss much on that. I hope you have understood all those verses now. So we'll quickly recap them. 2.47, 48. Quickly, please. Seconds में अभी, minutes मत लगाना. What is 47 and 48? हम लोग 55 से शुरू करने वाले हैं.
So 2.47, 47 talks about yoga. What exactly is yoga?
48, yes.
Yes. And it says, I read quite some time back, Prabhuji, but always be, in English it says, be equipoised, no matter you have success or failure in 4-7. And
47 is कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. 48 is yoga. 48, 2.48 speaks about yogastha kur karmani, definition of yoga. So why, just think, why is कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन? Krishna is talking about ma karma phala heturubur mate sangosta karmani. So he describes about how to do work. And next he says what is yoga. What are these two things? Why from karma from here, and then he explains about yoga? Why is he saying that? Two different things, right? Correct?
Because from 2.47, there is either a reaction based on if you are a cause of that action, basically.
You are the cause of the action. What is 2.47? Quickly, if someone can explain. फटाफट से बता दो ना. कल्पेश. क्लैरिटी अगर है ना 2.47 में, तो फिर स्मूथली सब समझ में आ जाएगा आगे भी. Quickly, anyone? Kshitij, you want to tell 2.47 quickly?
Yeah, basically कर्म करो लेकिन फल की इच्छा मत रखो. That's the first part of it, is what I understand.
Four parts to that verse.
Yep.
You have the right to do the duty.
Mm-hmm.
You are not entitled to the fruits of action. You are not the cause of the results of the action, and don't get attached to inaction.
Very nice. What is the understanding quickly? How do you work then? That how to do work is 2.48. So be in yoga. That's how it explains. So 2.47 tells you that what? How is 2.48? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yogastha kur karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya asiddhya samo bhutva samatvam yoga. Be in yoga. So do not be result oriented in terms of siddhya asiddhya, that is success or failure, but be focused on doing your duty. So for Arjun, he has to focus on fighting, not to worry about who's in front, but to worry whether he is doing his dharma or not. So when you do your duty without worrying about success or failure, you are in yoga. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Try to get clarity from these two verses. काम करने में मजा आएगा तुम्हें. अपना काम करने में बहुत मजा आएगा तुम्हें अगर ये बात समझ में आ गई दोनों. You will enjoy your work. तुम लोग सिर्फ काम कर रहे हैं. ये समझ में आ गया ना, तो you will बी डूइंग योर ड्यूटी, धर्म के साथ काम करना, मजा आएगा ऐसे अगर माइंडसेट बना तो हमारा। ओके, नेक्स्ट आफ्टर दैट 2.49, फटाफट 49 में क्या था? पढ़ाई की नहीं है ढंग से, शायद पढ़ाई नहीं की है, यहाँ से पढ़ाई नहीं की है, रीडिंग नहीं की है। सीक्वेंस क्लैरिटी उसी से आती है, सीक्वेंस समझ में। 2.49 कृष्णा सेज दूरे न यवरम कर्म, करेक्ट? इट सेज दैट दूरे न यवरम कर्म बुद्धि योगा धनंजय। यस,
Yes.
आगे क्या है? सेकंड लाइन।
बुद्धौ शरणम अन्विच्छ कार्पण्य फल हेतवा।
हे तव बुद्धौ शरण, बुद्धौ शरणम अन्वेच्छ
Which
कार्पण्य फल हे तव। So buddhi work with
Intelligence.
intelligence. Yeah, this is the intelligence. You understand? He's teaching him how to do your duty. That's how you work. With that kind of consciousness, you work. Durena yavaram karma. That be detached from what? What is that verse telling us? Be
From
detached
the
from?
fruits.
No, the verse. What is the verse telling us? Verse में क्या बोल रहा है?
Surrender unto the Lord, Prabhu. And
अरे Krishna Murari, what is the translation saying?
yeah, Prabhu,
Radhe.
that
keep all
keep
abdominal
keep all
activities
abominable
far
activities.
distance by devotional service.
Don't try to ऐसा तुक्का मत मारो यार. भगवद गीता पढ़ रहे हैं. Okay. What does he say? Be away from the abominable activities. ये abominable activities कब होती हैं?
When you're attached to Prabhu objects, sense objects.
Correct. That is when you are doing your work, लेकिन उसमें काम में ध्यान नहीं है, उसके रिजल्ट में ध्यान करके उसे मजा करने का ध्यान है. बात समझ में आ रही है? ये काम करूंगा तो पैसे ये मिलेगा, उससे मैं मजा करूंगा. ये अटैचमेंट से, वो अटैचमेंट से दूर होकर काम कर. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
डीप है, समझो इसको.
Yes.
Be away from those abominable activities, because the people who only work for enjoying the fruits are called misers. ऐसा बोलता है कृष्ण. Please read the whole translation.
Yes.
What does he say?
O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service. And in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers.
Very nice. So he tells you very clearly कि काम कर रहे हैं हम लोग, लेकिन जब आपको उसका fruits मिलता है, when you get time after work, when you get fruits after the work, you do your devotional service so that you are away from the abominable activities. आज मेरा प्रोजेक्ट खत्म हो गया, पार्टी करने आज मेरे को आज जा कुछ दारू में. That is what you just want to enjoy the fruits of your action. Instead, try to be in your spiritual practice. 2.41 से बोला उसने, introduce spiritual practice in your life. When you get that, your work done, success, devotional service, failure, devotional service. That will keep you in yoga. So he gives a solution also. समझा? दूरेण यवरम कर्म. That means remain away from what? From that attachment of the fruits of action. Stay away from that. That is 2.49. You understand what? So here Arjun is a little confused. He says that after this he asks the question. He explains a few things more. 250 में क्या बोलता है Krishna? What is 50? He continues on this, right? Read the translation only, quickly.
A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work.
Wonderful. So he's trying to make him learn how to work. Duty कैसे करो अपना? We should learn that very clearly. समझ में आया तो? Very easy and swift. So be very, very, what you call engaged in this understanding. ये concept समझना बहुत जरूरी है. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't just understand it theoretically. If possible, try to apply. Okay. 51. What does he say? Translation.
By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead.
So
Prabhu, we got the secret.
So what happens when you do something? Either you get a good reaction or a bad reaction. Either of the two. Correct? उससे बच जाओगे तुम अगर डिवोशनल सर्विस तुम्हारा गोल है तो. पर्पस इज डिवोशनल सर्विस. काम करना है, ड्यूटी करनी है पूरी तरह से, लेकिन going back and doing your devotional service. If that is the case, then you are working in yoga. You will be away from the reactions of that work, because every work carries reaction. And that is exactly what our life is. We live what we did yesterday. Our today is what we did yesterday. Simple terms, man. Make sense?
Prabhu, today is the result, you mean to say, of yesterday?
Like today is the reaction of yesterday.
Reaction of yesterday.
कल किसी को खून किया, आज जेल में. ऐसा होता है सब. Okay, that's how this, whatever you did yesterday, अच्छा किया, reaction. It may be not today, tomorrow. Again, that's how it works. The future is what you did today, and your today is what you did in the past. That's how karma works. Simple. Okay. Next, 52. What he continues saying. Translation.
When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard.
So, what you get indifferent to, when you understand this concept, then you become unique, you become stabilized. Okay, then you don't worry about the external happenings. At the moment, we hear a lot of voices from outside. सुनते हैं ना? And that reflects us in our actions. Correct? So those things will be controlled. Next,
why
52.
Why are we talking about heard? Why is the focus on what has been heard and what will be heard?
Because that's what we do, right? What did we do in our knowledge studies? Hearing. 4 साल 5 साल सुन के इंजीनियर बनता है ना, डॉक्टर बनता है, थोड़ा बहुत प्रैक्टिस करता है. करेक्ट. एक साल सुन के, एक साल खाली सुन के अगर डॉक्टर वो ट्राई करने को दे दिया हॉस्पिटल में, तो आप सबको बोला आज फर्स्ट ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स आपके ऊपर ऑपरेट करेंगे, पूरा सुना नहीं है वो लोग ने, 3 साल बाकी, वो पेशेंट उठ के भागेगा सब लोग. So you have to hear properly, right? In every
Prabhu, is it about the rituals of the Vedas and all? Is it like that is what we are
knowledge,
talking?
yeah, knowledge, yeah, everything what you talk about. So at the moment our Vedas are what? Our material and knowledge books, right? जो हमको सिखाया गया पैसा कमाना है कैसा, वही तो वेद है हमारे लिए. Correct? But the times when you had Gurukul and all, that time you were reading the scriptures to gain knowledge. Okay, next 53. 52 हो गया? Did we finish 52 just now?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhu.
53.
Kshitij Prabhu read it now.
When
Rishi
your
Prabhu.
mind,
Translation.
when your
Yeah.
mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness.
So what is the ultimate thing what we want to get into? We want to transcend from this. ये जो हमारे existing हमारा consciousness है. What is our consciousness? This is material consciousness, right? ये material consciousness से ऊपर उठना है. That's what Arjun is trying to explain Krishna, that he can't fight because they're my relative, they're this. He's thinking in the bodily concept of life. बोल रहा है, उससे ऊपर उठना है. So you don't have to be violent or non-violent, but you have to be violent for dharma. So Bhagavad Gita is not about violence or non-violence. It is about transcendence. Raise above. Then this understanding. So when you raise your consciousness above, then you can work better. That's where Arjun asks him in 54 that who is that person who has that steady consciousness, who's fixed in his consciousness? Who is Tita Pragya? How does he sit? How does he move? How does he talk? That is 54, correct?
Yep.
आ गए 54 के ऊपर?
Yes, Prabhu.
55 Krishna replies, who is Tita Pragya? So what is the quality of a Tita Pragya? Krishna replies in 55. What is that?
When a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification.
Prajahati yada kamans. Yes. When he gives up all the fake identities, his material identities, and is fixed in his real identity, which is the soul. ये concept समझना बहुत जरूरी है. Very important to understand this concept, that we have to understand that we are a soul. सब बैठ के सोचा करो कभी कभी कि मैं कौन हूं. बोरिंग नहीं है ये. Seriously, it is reality check. And that is why we have to chant. When we chant, this realization might get stronger. That who are we? We are the soul. We are not this body. So if a man or a woman or a living entity gives up all these kind of fake identities and understands that he or she is a soul and is self-realized, Atmanyeva Atmana Tushta Siddha Pragya Sudhajyate. He is the Siddha Pragya. He is the Pragya who understands that he is a soul and is fixed in his self. अभी ये जो प्रिल्यूड किया हम लोगों ने 2.47 से 55 तक, ये समझ में आया? इसमें क्लैरिटी है?
Yes.
कंफ्यूजन है?
Yes, Prabhu.
पूरा क्लियर है? Would someone be able to explain me next time when we pick up from here? All of you? Then it becomes interactive, right? Would you read it, please? Yeah? एक फ्लो में पढ़ाई इसको पढ़ोगे? क्या है chapter 2? Then we will be able to interactively discuss. नहीं तो खाली मैं ही बोल रहा हूँ constantly. आप लोग भी input से बोलना चाहिए तो मजा आएगा फिर. ठीक है? Okay. Then 55 के बाद what does he say? He explains more about Siddha Pragya. Yes. 56.
One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind.
Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. This is the verse, correct?
Mm.
So we discussed this also, I remember. We discussed about 3 different miseries.
Miseries.
Did we discuss about these 3? क्या थे वो तीनों?
Adhyatmic,
Adhyat-
Bhautik, and Adidevik.
Correct. What was the Adhyatmic? Quick example without looking into the book.
Caused by us, Prabhu, by
Very
self.
nice. Yes,
Like
good.
our worries, our anxiety that brings pain to our body.
Very nice. And next
Adi
one?
Bhautik is like you gave example, the Machar Prabhu, Alexander.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, mosquito.
Yeah,
So from
any
other living
external one.
entities, we get
Yes,
pain. And then
Yes.
Adidevic means through the demigods, Prabhu, like floods.
Yes.
uh,
Yeah, by nature, by
by
demigods.
nature.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so these are the miseries we get. So what is that? He is the Sthita Pragya. What is he? He is. What does this verse says? Sthita Pragya is
A person who is
Not disturbed.
not disturbed by these miseries. And I think you gave an example of Vishwamitra Muni also, where he was disturbed by Menaka.
Yeah. I'll give you one pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was once doing chanting, sitting down and doing his chanting very focused in his kutir in West Bengal. Small kutia. And there was a little boy who should come and give some fruits, during the morning time. Give some milk and fruits to Srila Prabhupada. So he was sitting down and chanting. That boy saw one scorpion going towards Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was chanting with eyes closed. So this boy silently, because he didn't want to disturb Prabhupada, silently went and said, Prabhupada, there is a scorpion coming towards you. Bichu aa raha hai. Slowly he opened his eyes. Just said one thing simply. He said, I am doing my service to the Lord. He is doing his own service. I will not take his space. I'm sure he won't take mine. He said it in Hindi. And he closed his eyes and chanted again. And he said, you do your service and go. So that boy kept the milk and the fruits and he left. And after some time, that scorpion also went on his way. Sthita Pragya. I'm not saying that we follow the same thing. We don't imitate Srila Prabhupada. If we see scorpion coming at us, we should get up and go. Because we don't have
We'll run,
that kind of equipoisedness that we can handle those things. So what I'm trying to say is a person who is in trance, who is in bhakti, who is in devotional service of the Lord, he doesn't fear. Vita raga bhaya, krodha. There is no anger also. Inside there is no anger. Outside he may be blaspheming anyone or shouting at anyone or telling someone something, but inside he's very calm. Instructions he might give to others, but inside he's very calm. That is the quality of an equipoised person. That's the consciousness we need to try and achieve. That's a force. Very, very powerful. Okay. 57.
In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge.
Understandable? That is acceptance. ये verse 57 जो है ना, ये acceptance के ऊपर है. Do we have acceptance? एक बात बता दो, simple. Give you an example. Recently ऐसा हो गया. Someone, your office tell me, how are you, mate? I said, not good today. So why? Why are you not good? So not good. So but why? So that's something I'll deal with later. But are you expecting me to be good all the time and happy all the time? No, I'm not. I will be. I'm sure I'll deal with everything and I'll be at a good space of mind. But at the moment I'm not. And I accept. इसमें गलत क्या है? Do we have to be okay all the time? नहीं okay. क्या हो उसमें? But this is the biggest thing we do to ourselves, खुद को झुठलाते हैं हम बाहर बोलने के लिए. नहीं मैं ठीक हूं एकदम. मैं हमेशा खुश रहता हूं. क्यों झूठ बोलने का? खुद से नहीं. ठीक है, लेकिन खुद को पता होना चाहिए. नहीं, I'm not okay. The acceptance. This is the biggest thing, biggest blunder we do in our life. We lie to our own selves. टॉक्सिक है ये अपने खुद के लिए, मेंटल ब्लॉक्स के लिए, मेंटली खराब होते हैं इससे. Try to accept yourself. Krishna says the same. Bad or good, accept it. ठीक है यार, नहीं है ठीक में. टच कर रही है ये बात? Is it making sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just breathe. That's it.
Yeah, that's
You're
okay.
So,
We'll
yeah,
deal
like
with it.
you're so low.
Yeah, ठीक है ना, normal है.
Yeah, I read it at a medical center, Prabhu. It says that sometimes it's good that you just breathing today. Do that. Sometimes we are so low and like,
Yeah, but we can't be okay all the time, correct?
we can't be, Prabhu.
So why do we, no, I'm happy, I'm good. ये क्यों बोलने का? नहीं है तो नहीं है. Not good. ये जब हम बोलना सीखेंगे ना, तभी एक्सेप्ट करना सीखेंगे अपने आप को. And that's where we come to reality check है. खुद का reality check. And Krishna says that when you try to be, when you're trying to become Sthitapragya, when you're trying to become equipoised, then you accept yourself. हमारा खराब भी हमको एक्सेप्ट करना है. ये बैड, ये गलत है, गलत फील हो रहा है मुझे. Accept it. So one who can accept this will go on this path. 2.57. Correct?
Prabhuji, question.
Yes.
I'm not able to differentiate between 56 and 57. What is different?
Okay. What is the translation 56? You say.
Okay. 56 is one who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind.
Correct. What is 57?
57. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge.
Correct. The 56 is about emotions. 57 is about reactions. See, if you read 56, one who's too happy or too joyous, too excited, the same person will be too sad and too unhappy when there is some turbulence. ये जो वेरिएशन है ना, उसमें बैलेंस चाहिए वहां पे. Not too excited, not too happy, not too sad, not too unhappy. That's the position or the state of mind. Emotions. Next 57. 57, what it says?
In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge.
So this is a reaction. So if something happens to me, if something happens to me in terms of whatever, he's not praising that. See, today's times you will see that people, generally show everything on the social media. सब दिखा देते हैं. ये भी हो गया. वो रिसेंटली एक बंदा हॉस्पिटल में चला गया, उसको आईवी हाथ में, तो आईवी वो लगा के फोटो खींची, एंजॉयिंग द टाइम एट हॉस्पिटल विद आईवी फिटेड. नो, अरे यू शुड बी वरीड अबाउट योर हेल्थ मैट. उसमें भी प्रेस चाहिए तुमको, वैलिडेशन के पीछे पड़े. यू नीड वैलिडेशन फ्रॉम एवरीवन. वेरी स्ट्रेंज, Can't you be your own barometer? You have intelligence, right? You understand what is right or wrong. इतना बुद्धि दिया है भगवान. Validate yourself. This is about asking for reactions.
But in 56, when we talk
Yeah.
about threefold miseries and happiness, those are also reactions. And I understand we're talking about the mind,
Yeah.
you're not getting disturbed in
Yeah.
56.
Yeah.
But those are also disturbed by reactions only, right? So whatever happiness, misery, fear, anger,
Correct.
attachment.
Correct. Yeah.
So
It is the same, but what you have to try and stabilize is different. So there you are stabilizing your emotions. Here you
mind,
are
yeah.
stabilizing your validations, or getting praise or being chastised from outside. So someone praises you, you are always happy. Yeah. Correct.
Okay. Okay.
But someone chastises you, not done. Hurt. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Praise भी आएगा.
Okay. Now I get it. Yep. Yep.
See,
It's how you are reacting to the situation. Okay.
so that is stabilizing your mind. Here how you. So the idea would be to respond, not to react.
Hmm.
There will be a situation in life when you ask for validation and the validation may not be, what you expect. That should not disturb you. Correct. And that in today's times, it's getting worse day by day. People really require this kind of validations. People only talk about these things nowadays. Oh, I've heard many people say, I did my this and I was doing the program on the social media, and so many people gave me likes. So many people, 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes, and I don't know, other places as well. Validations is becoming numbers. Number of validations becoming the what you call, the barometer of your success.
But Prabhuji, this is how it is, right? Because if we are reaching to more number of people liking your product, means okay, this is the product I need to purchase more. So someone needs to validate. That's like market research.
This is not business we're talking about, are we?
But that's in anything, right?
No. No. Business is different. We're talking about what topic are we discussing at the moment?
We're just discussing about quality, right? Like we are looking for an
No. We're talking about Nishkama Karma Yoga. This whole concept is Nishkama Karma Yoga. The section after 2.48, 2.47 onwards till 3.9, Nishkama Karma Yoga. Your concept is about business. Okay, but वो कर्म कांड में था पहला. ये सब 2.41 में बोलने का था. Sorry. 2.41 में this is valid. Yeah. कर्म कांड. मेहनत करो, रिजल्ट मिलेगा, एंजॉय करो उससे. जितना ज्यादा पॉपुलर तुम्हारा प्रोडक्ट, उतना ज्यादा पैसा कमाओगे. एंजॉय विद इट. गुड. कर्मकांड. निष्काम कर्मयोग is different. Here you are not focused about the validations and the results, and you are not worried about success or failure. You are doing your dharma.
So
It
what's
can
the
be anything.
example of Nishkam Karma?
Yeah. Marriage. Very simple. धर्म निभाना है, उसके लिए शादी करते थे पहले लोग. ये मैंने एग्जांपल पहले भी दिया था. You compare that same marriage in today's times. There may be people who will be performing it as a dharma. You can catch, but there is more things, attached to it, aspects attached to it, with causing separation, divorce. Why? Because there is not dharma anymore. It is more of a business, correct? मिला नहीं मुझे जो चाहिए था. Yes, कर्म कांड ना वो. Yes, I'm not getting what I wanted. Whereas dharma is what? धर्म निभाना है मुझे. मिले चाहे नहीं मिले मुझे. That's my duty. Yeah? Making sense? Mindset. How you look at it. So Krishna wants Arjun to perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. So when you say honor, honor and pride, ये दो अलग-अलग चीज है. So pride is because of selfish reactions. Honor is due to your correct actions, honorable actions. So Krishna wants Arjun to be free from pride, selfish actions. He wants to make him do honorable. निष्काम कर्म योग perform करने के लिए बोल रहा है उसको. धर्म निभाओ. So to fight for dharma. Validations के लिए, reactions के लिए या success के लिए लड़ रहा नहीं है. धर्म के लिए लड़. So if we work in that way, success is guaranteed because Krishna is behind that. Dharma is behind that. Depth समझना है. Conceptually बहुत interesting है ये. Practically, it's an art to implement it in your life. Try to understand the concept very clearly. Did I answer your question, Kalpesh?
Yeah. So it's two different aspects that I was thinking about. Okay.
Yeah. So 57 and 58. What is 58 now? See, this is exactly what we have to find out. वो verses में अलग क्या है? This is how we read Bhagavad Gita. Difference क्या है? What is 58 now? Yes.
58, one who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness.
What distracts us from doing our duty? क्या distract करता है? Senses. This is what Krishna is telling us in this verse. Senses distract us from doing our duty. काम भी करते हैं ना हम लोग. सबसे ज्यादा distraction senses का ही होता है. Yes. हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं. बाजू में वो बंदा वो मीटिंग में है किसी में और वो बातें कर रहा है. What happens? We start getting engaged in his meeting. Instead of doing our, ऐसा बहुत होता है. Actually, then वो हमारा काम खत्म हो गया. उसके वजह से हम लोग बोलते हैं. अगर हमारा उसमें नाम था मीटिंग में तो फिर और थोड़ा टेंशन. और उसके साथ हमारा मीटिंग होता बाद में. अरे यार मेरे बारे में क्या बोल रहे थे तुम लोग. क्या चल रहा है सब. We're distracted, yes. All the time. We can't focus on working because the senses are distracting us. But imagine if we are not distracted and just doing our duty, how good that will be. अच्छा काम कर पाएंगे हम लोग. That's what Krishna is telling us. You withdraw your senses while doing your duty. So your senses should be in control. And now he tells him the solution exactly in 2.59. This is how the full discussion goes in very sweetly from Krishna, that how to become Sthita Pragya. 2.59. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasyam param drishtva nivartate. These sense objects and senses have to be disconnected from each other. You can't disconnect it. ऐसे नहीं कि कल से मैं sense objects के से खत्म terminate कर दिया. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. You have to keep doing that all the time. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ये है सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट्स को अगर सेंसेस को सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट से निकाला तो उनको कुछ और भी चाहिए एंगेज करने के लिए. खाली नहीं बैठ सकता वो. सेकंड ओपन वायर कनेक्ट करने के किधर कनेक्ट करना है. दैट इज वेयर डिवोशनल सर्विस कम्स इनटू पिक्चर. इफ नॉट हैंड्स engage in Krishna service, mind is engaged. Mind ne tongue is engaged. Tongue ne ears are engaged. Ears ne eyes are engaged. Eyes ne legs are engaged. Whatever is free. जगलर देखा जगलर 10 बॉल एक साथ जगल करता है. Yeah, this is how we have to juggle between the senses. Because when you are working, when you are doing something, the senses, कोई ना एक sense अगर बिदक गया किधर, तुम्हारा ध्यान चला जाएगा उधर. That's it. You're gone, and you will be not focused on your work. But if that sense is engaged in Krishna, then you'll be able to focus on your work. Thoughts में कृष्ण को रख सकते हो, राधा रानी को रख सकते हो, काम करते वक्त भी हो सकता है. I'm not saying that you chant while you work. Don't do it. I mean, it may distract you. You may not be able to focus. But when you're working, your mind gets distracted. That time you can think about Krishna. Because when your mind is distracted, you're thinking about something else other than the work and Krishna that can deviate you from doing your duty. Is it making sense? क्या बोल रहा हूं मैं? होता है ऐसा?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yep.
ये distraction हमको काम नहीं करने देता. That's where Krishna is asking us to move your limbs inside this like tortoise. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina. These senses have to be terminated from the sense objects. जबरदस्ती खींच के उनको लाना है और कृष्ण भक्ति में लगाना है उनको. ये जब करते रहेंगे हम लोग कॉन्स्टेंटली, धीरे धीरे ऑटोमेटिकली हमारे सेंसेस उधर जाएंगे. We don't have to force it. ये आगे बताएंगे कृष्ण. It will come in chapter 6 when it comes to mind. Okay. All right. 259, 2.60. I wanted to finish chapter 2 today.
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind, even of a man of discrimination, who is endeavoring to control them.
Who is a man of discrimination? An intelligent person. जिसको पता है सही गलत क्या है, discriminate कर सकता है. He is a man of intelligence. But even he cannot control the senses because they are very, very strong. कुछ एक thought दिमाग में आ गया पहले का, straight away वो उधर चला गया दिमाग और उसके ऊपर contemplate करने लगेगा mind. This is how it happens. Right, so be very careful. Bring it back. You're very, very strong. You bring back the sense. 61.
One who restrains his senses, keeping them under control, under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence.
We discussed that, right? Correct.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is called steady intelligence. Yes, Kalpesh.
No, actually, I was preparing to read next translation because I've been muting and.
Okay, yeah. So I'll speak the verses, you can read the translation, because next verse is, now this is what Krishna does. He plays with our psychology. First, if you see from chapter 2, chapter 1, जब से बोला शुरू किया कृष्ण ने, पहले वो qualities बताता है. जब qualities बताए खत्म करता है ना, फिर बताता है अगर ऐसा नहीं किया तो ये होएगा. That's how he tells. कर्म कांड में भी ऐसे ही, वो पहले स्वधर्म अपनाना, you would be a kshatriya, but if you are not a kshatriya, then this thing will happen to you. If you don't do your duty, then this will happen. This is how his style of explaining. This is how Bhagavad Gita goes. So he tells you what to do, but if you don't do this, but it doesn't tell you कि करना ही है, then he says यत इच्छा तथा कुरु, अभी तेरी मर्जी. He gives you both sides. The beauty of Bhagavad Gita. It's a beauty of Bhagavad Gita. So 61. Yeah. Now 62 onwards, 61 हो गया? Yeah. 62 onwards, 62 and 63 are combined. This is very important here. These are very important words. So we'll touch that. This is that when you are not fixing your consciousness upon Krishna. जब हमारे senses बिदक जाते हैं, भाग जाते हैं, material objects की ओर, sense objects की ओर, then what happens? That's what Krishna tells in 62 and 63. So I'll read the verses, both of them. You can repeat after me if you like, and you can read the translation, Kalpesh. ध्यायतो विषयं पुंसा संगम तेषु पजायते संगत संजायते कामः कामः क्रोध विजायते. Please read 62.
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंस
संगस्तेषु
सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते
जायते
सङ्गत्सञ्जायते कामः
कामस्
कामात् क्रोधो
क्रोधस्
विजायते.
विजायते.
I'll read 63 also, then you can read both the translation. Krodad bhavati sammoha, sammoha smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramashah buddhinasho pranashyati.
Krodha
Krodhat
bhavati
bhavati
sammoha
sammoha
sammohat
sammoha
smriti
smriti
vibramaha
vibhramaha smriti
smriti
bhramashad
bhramsad buddhi nasho
buddhinasho
buddhi nashat
buddhinashat
pranashyati.
pranashyati.
It's a series of this, what happens with us when we are doing our work. सब काम कर रहे हैं हम लोग अच्छे से, लेकिन कोई एक सेंस हमारा छूट के सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट्स की तरफ चला गया और हम उसके बारे में बार बार सोचने लग गए. कुछ भी हो सकता है, वो खाना पीना, पार्टी, travel, illicit relationship, anything it could happen. The moment you went there and you start contemplating, dhyayato means contemplating. When you start thinking about it, what happens then? This is Krishna will tell. Yes, Kalpesh, please read the translation.
While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. Next one, 2.63. From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool.
Beautiful, isn't it? पूरा series है ये. Dhyayato vichayam pumsaha. When you start contemplating about it, about the sense objects, sangam teshu pajayate. You start getting attached to that object, sense object. उसके ऊपर ध्यान जाता है, अरे यार. And then ध्यायतो विषयं पुंसा संगम तेषु उपजायते. Sangam sanjayate kamaha. That develops desire for having that sense object, enjoying that sense object. Sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodha abhijayate. Now, when you have developed the lust or the desire to having that particular sense object, अब उसके बीच में काम कर रहा है. वो काम कर रहा है, लेकिन वो एंजॉय भी करना है. इरिटेशन है, यार ये कौन इतना बेकार है. Does not let me. अब वो बोल भी नहीं सकते कि मेरे को एंजॉय करने गए. किसी को बता नहीं सकते. हमको ही पता है वो क्या है. It may be something we cannot reveal to someone. तो उससे क्या होता है? उससे गुस्सा आता है. You start getting angry. Start getting angry on people, relatives, colleagues. Gussa. And what happens after? Krodhat bhavati sammoha. And that anger develops delusion or illusion. We think that will give us satisfaction from this pain which we are getting from work and for doing our duty. इसमें से जो पेन आ रहा है, प्रॉब्लम आ रही है हमको, उससे सेटिस्फैक्शन कैसे मिलेगा? वो सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट का भोग करके हमको उससे संतुष्टि मिलेगी. This is Maya. See, there is a very nice saying that most of the times the anticipation of enjoying the sense object is better and more satisfying than actually enjoying the sense object. समझ में आ रहा है क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं? Yeah, thinking about the sense object is more satisfying than the actual sense object. Yes. When I was little, studying in school, I used to see kids who were in college, and the thing was around the circle of my school colleagues that once we go to college, सब ठीक हो जाएगा यार, ये tension नहीं रहेगा इतना. It will be fun. Life will be much better when we reach college. ऐसा सोच के कॉलेज में गया. जब कॉलेज में पहुंचा, अरे यार, लाइफ इज नॉट दैट स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड. अभी जब नौकरी मिल जाएगी ना, इसके बाद then the life will be set. Then you will have your own space, your own thing, everything will be sorted. उसके बाद फिर नौकरी मिल गई, start job working, but still मजा नहीं आ रहा यार. अब क्या, अभी नौकरी हो गई, पढ़ाई भी हो गई, अब सब रिलेटिव्स और बेस्ट ऑप्शन क्या, तू शादी कर ले. शादी कर लेगा ना, उसके बाद सब प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा. और उसके बाद आप सब लोगों को पता है कि उनकी कहानी में क्या बताऊं. So you will never find that satisfaction from the sense objects. The anticipating जो खुशी की जो हम लोग ख्याल करते हैं ना, ड्रीमिंग अबाउट हैप्पीनेस is actually better than the actual thing. Okay, this is generally with the all sense objects. You won't be satisfied as much you're satisfied just by dreaming it, any sense object. This is called Maya. You know what is the meaning of Maya? Yeah. Ma, that which is not is Maya. हमको लगता है कि वहां पे मजा आएगा, लेकिन एक्चुअली उधर पहुंच के मजा नहीं आता है. अरे यार, I think something went wrong. कुछ और चाहिए मुझे. फिर next thing, फिर next thing, फिर next thing, next thing. This is how we are entangled. This is Maya. So this is delusion. Yeah. क्रोधत भवति सम्मोह. सम्मोह smriti vibhrama. And when you are in Maya, completely trying to get satisfaction from the sense objects, being that in that consciousness, what happens? You have disturbed your memory. There is, over a period of time, memory loss, as I would say. What does Krishna say in the translation? Does he say loss of memory in 63?
Bewilderment of memory.
Bewilderment of memory. Yeah. So memory is shaken. And then what happens after that?
Intelligence is lost.
Smriti Brahmashah Buddhinasho. So that when the memory is bewildered, your intelligence is
Lost.
lost. What does it say in translation?
When
Buddhinasha.
memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost.
So you lose your
Buddhi.
intelligence, your buddhi. And then Buddhinasha pranashyati. That means the person falls down from, it doesn't mean that he falls down from the chair or from the table. He falls down from where? He falls down from the higher consciousness to the lower consciousness. It comes to the material consciousness. And then he tries something else. उसको लगता है कुछ और try करना चाहिए मुझे. उससे ठीक हो जाएगा, फिर उससे ठीक हो जाएगा. That's how he goes on trying things and trying to satisfy his own senses. Okay, so that is a danger zone. Krishna says that be careful going into that zone. Understood?
Prabhuji, one quick one. If you can just tell me about why memory is being mentioned. I think you explained, but you can tell me again.
So our mind generally, if you see all our senses, they work on this concept of repository, in the mind. Say, for example, कुछ देख के हमको उसको खाने का मन करता है, या कुछ भी देख के क्यों मन करता है? Because our mind has registered that taste of that particular food in our repository in our mind that it is tastes like this. I remember once, Narsimha Chaturdashi पे केक बनाया था, केक बहुत ब्यूटीफुल केक, एकदम सॉलिड बड़ा केक बनाया, नरसिम्हा देव को ऑफर किया था. एवरीवन, सुबह से बहुत brahmacharis and the congregation back when I was in Perth, टाइम में बहुत अच्छा केक बनाया, और वो केक बनाने में बहुत सारा एफर्ट लगा था. इट वाज मैसिव बिग, लुकिंग वेरी ब्यूटीफुल, सॉफ्टेस्ट लग रहा था एकदम केक. केक बना के नरसिंह को ऑफर किया. एवरीवन इज वेटिंग, प्रसाद कभी होएगा. फास्टिंग भी किया है, फास्टिंग के बाद सब प्रसाद खाने के बाद वो केक खाएंगे. इतना मेहनत किया है सब लोगों ने, लुकिंग वेरी नाइस. सब बैठे हैं, नरसिंह आरती हो गई, ये वो आके बैठे हैं सब लोग, प्रसाद हो गया, आप केक. They brought the cake in, offered to the Narsimha. Now you brought the cake. The first person sitting there, very excited. सब लोग उसको देख रहे हैं, इसको सबसे पहला पीस मिलेगा. He got the first piece of the proper with the flower on top, रख दिया उसके ऊपर. पहला पीस खाया उसने, first bite. So what had happened was, सब ठीक था वो केक में, सब everything, but the हमारा chef, he forgot to put sugar. Sweet नहीं था केक. Cake has to be sweet, right? Sweet नहीं रहेगा केक तो कैसा लगेगा वो? वो खाया, थोड़ी देर बैठा था, वो रजिस्टर कर रहा था उसको दिमाग में, and everybody was watching him कि भाई इसको क्या हुआ. He's not happy. थोड़ी देर के बाद वापस खाया वो. शायद पहली बार मेरे को टेस्ट बराबर आया नहीं है. I'll have it again. आधे खाया. Then we saw him whispering to the next guy, दूसरा प्रोफेसर को, कुछ तो बोला उसको, और वो दूसरे को बोला, वो तीसरे को बोला, and all. And the person who was serving the cake, he suddenly stopped. He said, "Oh, there is a thing." Then he went to the chef. But now it has been offered, so you have prasad. अभी सब क्या कर सकते हैं? You can't do. So they somehow, put something on top, उसके ऊपर करके कुछ तो कोई करके sprinkle करके चीजें. They made it, little sweet, so that it can taste something like cake. So this is how our mind registers. This is all memory. अभी वो केक अगर स्वीट होता तो no problem at all. But what is the mind register? अभी क्या हो गया? अभी नरसिंह चतुर्दशी दूसरे साल में चल गया, केक चल गया. तो सबसे पहला जो बंदा था, जो बैठता था खाके, वो अभी बाद में वो खुद सर्व कर रहा था सबको. वो बोलता मैं सर्व करूंगा, I'll take the service of serving. मैं खाने की खाना नहीं खाऊंगा पहले. So you see, ऐसा रजिस्टर हो जाता है दिमाग में हमारे चीज, memories. So when we register something bad, say for example, when you browse things, when you browse your internet, you constantly browse something, this. When you hit that word, automatically that website comes in, just with one word or one character. So all this registration happens in our memory. So we have to be careful what we are registering. So when you contemplate on a sense object constantly, what will happen? That will get registered in your memory. So over a period of time, that memory is bewildered because you have registered only the sense objects. Okay. So that is called contaminated senses.
Okay.
Because they're only wanting sense enjoyment. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So the connection, I'm just trying to confirm the connection. The connection is that when you are in complete delusion or you're in illusion of you will get
Yes.
some
Sense
happiness
satisfaction from the sense
satisfaction,
object. Yeah.
but you don't get it. That is why your
Yeah.
memory gets bewildered.
Bewildered. Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And because of that, what happens? Your intelligence is also lost.
But what happens if the cake is sweet?
Yeah, so you registered it. लेकिन कभी अगर किसी ने गड़बड़ कर दी, you will not be able to accept it. So this is how our mind functions. Abhi, same thing happens with our relationships also. We expect that the relationship will be sweeter. लेकिन उसमें sugar नहीं होती है कभी-कभी. So then what do? Expectations वैसा हो गया. लेकिन नहीं निकला वैसा. So this is the problem with. It's not a problem with those things outside. The problem with us. Expectation is the problem. Okay. ऐसा बहुत ज्यादा satisfaction का अगर हम expect करते हैं ना sense object से, so that is not a good idea. That's what Krishna is telling us. Okay, he'll explain all these things further in Bhagavad Gita, but this is where how our mind functions. So the idea is not to contemplate on sense objects. शुरू ही मत करो. ध्याय तो विषयम पुंसा, वहां से शुरू हो गया सारा. इससे अच्छा if you think about something else, about your spiritual activity. So many things are there you can do in your spiritual life, your spiritual processes. So many things you can do. Thinking about that, contemplating about that will help you. Like that day, I'll tell you, we were trying to chant on fingers, correct? During our mantra meditation. We were not able to get the numbers right. नहीं आ रहा था ना हाथ में अपने. But actually, if you think about it, it's not that difficult. तो वो टाइम पे नहीं है कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन बाद में हम सोच सकते हैं उसके ऊपर कि यार ये हाथ पे कैसे काउंट करूं मैं. और अगर मेरे को कहीं पे जाना है और बाला नहीं है मेरे हाथ में चैंटिंग करने के लिए और रियली वांट टू चैंट, हाउ विल आई चैंट? कैन आई चैंट ऑन द फिंगर्स? यस यू कैन. सो देयर इज सिंपल वे. So you see, here we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we discussed about this last time. है ना? तो 60
Yes.
we did that, 6 times 96
Yeah.
होता है और 12 ऊपर से करके 108 हो जाता है.
Today only I implemented.
Thumb के ऊपर, very nice. So if we think about these, there are so many things you can do. There are verses which talk about so beautiful things, There is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita which talks about that you should count when you chant because that fixes you, in the process. You're organizing your process. Srimad Bhagavatam, there are so many good pastimes. Read about them. टीवी ऑन करते हैं हम लोग, कभी बैठे रहते हैं कुछ देखते हैं. Can't we hear some nice nectar from someone? Listen some nice kirtan from someone. Engage your senses, engage your thoughts to your devotional service. Somehow or the other, how can I serve Krishna? Srila Prabhupada always said that if you plan how to serve Krishna, Krishna will plan how to serve you. It's reciprocation, you see. He will reciprocate. Okay. So we'll end our discussion here. We are 63. Please read all the verses we have done today. We have done quite a few verses today. We started from, actually we revised from 2.48 till 59, then we did to 63. So 64 onwards is also on the same lines. Krishna will speak about being equipoised. This chapter has 72 verses, one of the longest chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So please read. We'll continue from 64 onwards till 7. Try to finish 72. Now our next discussion, and we will start chapter 3, which is a continuation of chapter 2, but starts with Karma Yoga, which is Nishkama Karma Yoga itself. But Krishna in chapter 3 will also explain some more implementation practices in order to achieve Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay, so before we get into a deeper concept, try to understand this concept very well and the application of this. Okay. Any
So
questions?
Prabhuji, I have to give you the seeds of Tulsi Maharani to give you Rishi. So
Okay.
you're
Yes,
going on
please.
25th, I think 25th of November for the Kirtan.
25th of November, we will be there at Sydney. So we will be, I think, going on, I think on Friday itself. So maybe I go directly or we go with the family. I'm not sure how it happens. Yeah.
So let me know how can I give you the seeds before you go.
Okay. So you want to give me so I can take it to them?
Yeah. You
Okay.
just take it for the Rishi and whoever wants. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, I want to plant actually. So.
Okay. Very good.